Hello, my name is Ezra Vasquez D'Amico, and I'm the manager of GiveSafely.io. GiveSafely is a program of the BBB Wise Giving Alliance, and today I'm going to give an introduction targeted for charities on the platform and what it is. So today we're going to cover what GiveSafely is, what needs the platform addresses, both for donors as well as for charities, how the platform works, and next steps in terms of kind of where the platform's headed, and then what we'll need from you if you so choose to sign up. GiveSafely.io connects donors and trusted charities, charities who meet all BBB, 20 BBB standards for charity accountability, via donations and experiences. Donations and data flow directly from donors to charities while securing donor information via blockchain technology. GiveSafely.io has no access to the donations or data and receives no transaction fees. And part of what allows this to happen is that it's built on blockchain technology, and that sets up kind of peer-to-peer relationships where donors and charities kind of interact directly without a centralized kind of database gathering information and then also processing donations. It goes directly from the charity, from the donor to the charity. We launched in July. We launched with 10 national charities, and we launched again to meet charity and donor needs. And right now we're in the phase of bringing more charities on, engaging more donors, and moving the platform forward. So for charities, there is no charge to participate. We take no transaction fees, and we're here to kind of help you test new models of engagement, both in terms of interacting with donors and then also gathering data and what kind of data you can gather from them. And then we also are here to introduce charities to blockchain technology, educate charities on cryptocurrency, and provide resources both in terms of how to use these technologies, how to receive crypto donations, and how to interact with donors on these types of platforms. For donors, we provide a trusted site. All charities meet the 20 BBB standards for charity accountability. So when donors come to the platform, they know that every charity listed is trustworthy. And that's important to donors. In our donor trust reports, we find that around 70% of donors report that trusting a charity before giving is an essential thing. Yet only 19% of donors report highly trusting charities, again, on average. And we did also find that donors are most influenced by third-party evaluations. So again, we see our role as third-party evaluators to bring donors and charities together in a space of trust. We also want to help charities reach younger and tech-savvy donors. In our donor trust reports, we found that Generation Z and Millennials indicate a higher willingness to be approached to give. So overall, around 11% of the population expressed kind of a high willingness to be approached to give. And Gen Z and millennials were about twice as willing than the average at 19 and 23%. At the same time, though, how you reach out to millennials, younger donors, tech-savvy donors, it's not really a one-size-fits-all. You can't just go ask them to give and expect them to give. You have to engage and kind of meet them on their terms, with technologies they understand and with forms of engagement that really speak to them. In terms of tech-savvy donors, we were looking at Edelman report that reported that 25% of affluent millennials hold or use cryptocurrency, and 31% are interested in using it. 74% of their respondents said that technological innovations like blockchain make the global financial system more secure. So there's an awareness, especially among younger donors, about cryptocurrency and kind of the benefits of blockchain technology. And then overall, cryptocurrency donations are on the rise. Fidelity Charitable has reported that, they've received over $100 million in cryptocurrency donations since 2015. So it's a factor, and we expect that side of things, crypto donations, to grow in the future. Um, and then donors also want to feel security, and they want to feel control over kind of their data. Um, it's been in the news, I think, since March, the breach, where donor information was hacked by an individual, and held hostage for payment. People are very aware of, Equifax, and all these other kind of data security scandals where their personal information over and over again ends up, where it shouldn't be, and is misused, as in the case with Cambridge Analytica. Donors are also aware, especially younger tech-savvy donors, that their data, their personal information, is worth something. That a lot of the big, social media platforms, shopping platforms, they monetize this data, and that's how they make their money, in terms of targeting and understanding customers and consumer behavior. So what GiveSafely.io does is we use blockchain encryption technology to, one, safeguard the data, but it also enables us to give donors absolute control over their data in terms of what they share and who they share it with. So again, it doesn't flow through a centralized database. It goes directly from the donor. The data goes directly from the donor to the charity. And they can have security in knowing that that's a safe transaction. Um, and then we want to also help charities engage donors in new ways. I think everyone in the charitable community is aware of the decreases in individual giving and small donor base, and then the loss of incentives related to the tax law changes for medium range donors. And then, with COVID-19, a lot of charities' fundraising models have been completely upended. You can no longer hold a special event in person. You can no longer, do, fundraisers at people's homes and whatnot. So a lot of the fundraising strategies have had to move online, and charities are experimenting with that. And we want to help kind of experiment that kind of with our engagement experiences, which I'll talk about later. And then donors, they want to engage with charities in fun ways that, are low pressure experiences that are beyond kind of just being lectured at. They want to engage kind of based on who they are and their interests. So, it's much more exciting to kind of speak with a charity staff person in an intimate, one-on-one or one-on-five person conversation about kind of who that charity staff person is and what their interests are, versus, again, just getting lectured at. And donors want to be rewarded for sharing their data, and the data that they'll share, it allows for charities to kind of engage even more. So it's one thing to collect kind of name, age, where you live. That's a base level, but the data that we'll be collecting and, educating charities on how to use kind of goes beyond that in terms of kind of commitment scores, engagement info, kind of how these donors want to be reached, what steps they need to go through to get to that donation point. So each charity will set up a profile. Again, as I said, we've got around 10 charities on the platform now, and that's expected to keep growing. Each charity sets up a profile kind of with a background picture, their logo, description of their organization, and then, at the bottom, there's also their website is listed, and then a link also to the accreditation on give.org, because we found that donors, like to trust but also verify. So giving them the opportunity to be able to visit your page, or also visit, the accreditation on give.org, will provide even more security. When donors give, they receive giving points for sharing their data. Every donor, when they give, by law, they'll have to provide their name and their email address. But for every point of information that they provide beyond that, they'll receive 1 additional giving point. So you get 3 giving points for your name and email. And then let's say you enter your phone number, you'll see that the little orange circle here, that'll keep toggling up. You know, if you enter an annual amount given to charities, that'll go up to 5. And right now we've got demographic data as placeholders, but you know that's open to being changed. Again, to engage donors kind of in more meaningful ways and gather that more meaningful data. But in any donation transaction, they can receive up to 11 giving points for the data shared. It's worth noting that giving points aren't tied to the amount of their donation. So when a donor gives $5, they're eligible to, you know, get between 3 and 11 giving points. If a donor gives $500, the same thing, they're eligible to receive between 3 and 11 giving points. So again, it's tied to the data sharing, not necessarily the quantity of the donation. And when a donor gives, they're able to kind of choose how they give. They can give via different cryptocurrencies, but also via fiat, via cash. And right now we're working with PayPal on that front. And once a donor gets giving points, they're able to exchange those for experiences with charities. It's worth noting that when I give to your charity and I receive giving points, I can use them on experience with your charity or experience with a different charity. So we envision kind of the experiences page, and I encourage you to visit it on our site as a way for kind of donors to discover new charities. For example, if I'm a donor who in the past has only given to environmental organizations, and then I visit the experiences site and I see something very interesting regarding you know, international relief organization or a health charity, I may be able to have an experience with that charity that draws me more into their mission, and they could potentially end up kind of a new donor for that new organization. It's worth noting that when someone exchanges their giving points for an experience, the data that they shared with their original donation also goes to the organization that provides the experience. So let's say I gave to Charity A and shared my name, email address, and then the other data. Charity A gets that information. When I exchange the giving points with Charity B for an experience, Charity B also gets my name, email address, and you know all the other information, so that Charity B can also follow up with the donor after the experience and kind of build them into you know, their donor ecosystem. The engagement experiences are varied, but we're suggesting, you know, something personal and fun that draws people into a charity's mission. Um, up on the screen, we have experience that Save the Children put up. Reddit, similar to a Reddit AMA, but an AMAA, an Ask Me Almost Anything, encouraging donors to kind of join what would be a Zoom call and kind of speak with 15 to 30 minutes, you know, with a senior staff member about what it's like to work at Save the Children, you know, how Save the Children was founded, the type of work it's done on the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, that accepts, you know, donations via Venmo. So all these kind of, you know, engaging uh, uh, conversation points that could be. And again, you know, we're encouraging charities to be as creative as possible on this. And we'll see later, we've got our resource on the site for charities to give them suggestions and kind of provide, you know, a bit of a framework or a structure to help think through this. When a donor donates to a charity, it shows up on the charity's dashboard on GiveSafely. And they see the time of the donation. The shared data comes through when you put your account key in as a charity. It'll unlock the shared data, and you'll see, my name, my email address, how much I gave, and how and where I gave through. So, right here it says PayPal, $25. There was a cryptocurrency Ignis donation that came to us, and it was valued at I think about $11. There was a Bitcoin donation for about $5 and so on. And then you also have the ability to control your engagement experiences and, edit the text and add new ones, take them down, determine how many giving points you want to have for each experience and whatnot. We also have charity resources page that speaks to kind of setting up your profile, setting up rewards experiences, and then also kind of a general cryptocurrency information guide. Some basics on cryptocurrency, how it's handled by the IRS, some specifics, what to do when you receive cryptocurrency, how to set up a wallet so that your organization can receive Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ignis or Ardor and whatnot. So for our platform right now, we launched, as I said, in July with originally 10 charities. Right now, we've been receiving a lot of interest from national charities on getting on board. So we're putting together the onboarding process, and we're going to be adding more and more charities in the days and weeks to come. And then, once we have a critical mass of charities, we're going to really launch into phase 2, which is donor engagement. Our goal is to build a strong campaign around Giving Tuesday. So that gives us a little time to really launch in terms of, reaching out via social media, targeting the young, tech-savvy donors, kind of telling stories that engage them, bring them in, inserting ourselves into conversations where they're already at, where they're already speaking. And then, also asking the charities who are on the site to distribute information via their social networks, as well as, including a button on the site. And then we're also speaking with some engagement specialists who use kind of behavioral economics and kind of research around how to engage donors, how to bring them on board. They're also helping us rethink how to and what type of data to collect, beyond just the demographic information, but things like, commitment scores, how committed a donor is to an organization, how to treat, someone who's very committed versus not very committed. And we'll be able to educate charities kind of about each step of that process and how to use that kind of data in the future as well. For charities, next steps we would ask is that, you're welcome to join a question and answer session with myself and other staff members on Zoom. We're going to be having those, every week at a predetermined time. It's kind of like office hours where folk can join and ask questions. We'll ask that you sign an agreement in terms of using the site. We ask that you set up your profile, set up rewards. We ask that you add a donate push button to your site so that donors can get to the page and make donations to you via either cash or cryptocurrency to get those giving points. And then we also would ask that you announce your participation on social media and whatnot. So thank you for your attention today, and I'd encourage you to join one of our question and answer calls so that we can, actively answer all the questions that you might have. And we're looking forward to hopefully getting you to join the platform.